What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got some major news here for you guys. Number one, the House passes a major bill with billions of dollars for Americans and businesses. I'll give you the details on that. Also, the war in the Middle East is largely involving the United States now. U.S. airstrikes, that's right, from the United States hit more than 85 targets in Iraq. The U.S. is retaliating from when 3 U.S. military personnel got killed the other day, and dozens of Americans got injured, some seriously injured, 3 deaths in Iraq. At least 18 reported killed in eastern Syria. The U.S. is retaliating against Iran, and this is going to be a probably serious retaliation back and forth. Take a look at what just happened.
Talking about U.S. aggression on a number of sites in Syria's desert areas, Syrian-Iraqi border, resulting in a number of casualties and injuries. They do not detail exactly how many. They do call it U.S. aggression, so making it pretty clear, as our Jennifer Griffin has just stated, that these strikes have begun. To Jennifer Griffin now at the Pentagon. Jennifer.
Neil, it's been a bit confusing over here this afternoon here at the Pentagon, but I do want to clarify. We can now report that U.S. strikes in both Syria and Iraq at spots at locations in both of those countries have begun. That is official from 2 U.S. defense officials. Earlier, when we were talking about some of those initial explosions in Syria, there is still some confusion about which military carried out those initial strikes. But we can say that what we have been expecting all afternoon and for days now, frankly, is that the U.S. campaign led by U.S. Central Command, which will involve, we're told, air assets as well as sea assets as well as space assets. This is going to be a multi-tiered campaign. It's going to last days. It's going to strike multiple targets. I'm told upwards of a dozen to 24 targets in Syria and Iraq, targeting those Iranian proxy forces, the bases where they store the rockets, the drones, the command and control, and that is what they're going to be focusing on. We reported earlier today that the U.S. had B-1B Lancer bombers that had been deployed to the region from bases in the U.K. Those B-1B bombers I would expect to be involved. That is the Air Force's, it carries the largest conventional payload. They will be involved. You can expect that that there will be Tomahawks involved. You have a submarine, the USS Florida, that is in the region. It has 150 Tomahawks on board, as well as the U.S. Eisenhower. You have an air component with F-35s, F-16s, F-15s in the region, F-18s. This is going to be a complex, multi-layered attack, and it is designed to send a very, very strong and serious message, I'm told, to Tehran as well as to the proxy forces on the ground.
So the U.S. military sends a pretty strong message back to Iran with, quote, more than 85 targets attacked already in Iraq and Syria. These are Iran-based proxies, military targets, and at least 18 reported killed in eastern Syria, and maybe even more going to happen here over the next 24 to 48 hours. So pretty strong attack back. And I honestly don't know if this will be enough to deter Iran to just completely stop, but it sends a decently strong message. Remember, Iran has attacked us over 200 times this year over in the Middle East, and we're not just going to pull out of there completely. We are there for multitudes of reasons, and we've been there for years, dozens of years, decades. So we're not just going to run out of there with our tail between our legs. So, you can let me know your thoughts here, but this goes all the way back to the Reagan administrations and stuff. And we're not just going to let Iran determine what the U.S. military does. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Next up, the House of Representatives passes the child tax credit expansion, which could benefit millions of families up to, quote, there are real benefits here for 16 million kids in low-income families. Note here, it still needs to pass the Senate next, okay? Um, the House overwhelmingly approved the bill. It still needs 60 votes to pass here in the Senate, which could happen within the next several days. It could have a delay. I will keep you up to date on this. Apparently, you can see here, House lawmakers passed a $78 billion bipartisan tax package, which includes child tax credit expansion that could benefit millions of children in low-income families, according to policy experts. If enacted, it needs to pass the Senate. The bill would expand access to child tax credits, or CTC, retroactively boost the refundable portion for 2023, which could affect taxpayers this filing season. I'll also link you to another video from the IRS where they've just announced you can get a tax credit. This is separate from the child tax credits. This is for people with children or without children of up to $7,400. And this is a pretty big one, okay? So I'll link you to that video here in a moment. You definitely want to hear about this. While less generous than the pandemic-era child tax credit, the proposed changes still represent, quote, real money for millions of families. There's also, I believe, about $40 billion in there for businesses as well. When the bill officially passes, if there's not any changes or amendments, we'll go over all the details. Also today, Toyota issued a, quote, do not drive advisory for vehicles with, quote, Takata airbag recalls. This is a pretty serious announcement that I wanted to mention. This was for about 50,000 2003 to 2004 Corolla and Corolla Matrix vehicles, along with 2004 to 2005 RAV4 vehicles. Toyota issued the airbag advisory because Takata airbags in the vehicles can explode and shoot sharp metal fragments. Toyota advisory is valid across the entire United States. They issued a do not drive advisory. They said the airbags, which have been involved in recalls, can explode and shoot out sharp metal fragments. If you think you have one of these vehicles, Google it and see if your car or anybody you might know of this car, share this video with them and look it up and see if yours applies. Today, beloved actor Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed from Rocky, he was also in The Mandalorian. He was also in Predator. He was also in many, many movies, passed away. He died in his sleep, his family said, at the age of 76. One of our favorite actors. If you watched the Rocky movies, you know him very, very well. An inspiration to many. Of course, the Rocky movies are some of our favorites. You could see the Rocky poster in our background. And yeah, he passed away today, apparently peacefully in his sleep. Yeah, you could see the Rocky poster there with Rocky on the Philadelphia steps. And just goes to show you that life is short. Make the most of it. And follow your dreams. Just remember that you only live once. So try to make the most of it, spend time with family, and, always try to do your best here and try to be better on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys. I wish you guys the best. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see the FBI warning Americans about Chinese nationals coming across the border. Or click here to see how the IRS may owe you up to $7,000. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.